Hello, this is Bill Casey, and as part of the 2017 Sitecore Hackathon, I was joined with teammates Eric Stafford and Scott Stocker to build a module based on a habitat solution. The module we came up with was called the Smart Delete module, and we built this to implement workflows for deleting items so that items that have gone through workflows and have a need to be deleted can be audited. As part of the process, the item is marked for deletion by a template field that we've added to the solution as part of the module, and it includes a checkbox along with some workflow actions to remove the item from the current workflow and push it into a delete workflow. The delete workflow will then go through an approval process to ensure that the item is wanting to be deleted. And then once it is approved for deletion, the item will be serialized to the Sitecore file system in the data directory, and then the item itself will be removed from the content tree. Once the module is installed, the first step that you'll need to go through is to associate the new field, which is called delete requested, and is provided in a template included in the module to any of your existing templates. We provided an admin page to help facilitate that setting of the item inheritance. And that page can be accessed by navigating to your site instance and the path Sitecore shell applications smart delete smartdelete.aspx as seen on the screen here. This screen will list a control of all of the templates that you can choose from. And depending on your solution, this may be a large list. And if you're already working with inheritance, you may only need to implement this new item in a single template. So for example, if you're working with an item base or a general content. So for now, we can just click these two. So once you select the options, and then hit update select templates, that will run through, and the templates will have a new field called delete requested. In the content editor, the base templates will live in the JLS foundation, and there's some sample things included with the module on GitHub and the TDS portions of it. The package module will not include this. It will just include the necessary features, the item base specifically, which houses the delete requested field. Once the inheritance is set up from the smartdelete.aspx page, your pages or your content items will have a smart delete section with a checkbox included on it. As part of the setup process, we've added custom actions that need to be included into your existing workflows if you want to utilize this functionality. These templates, or actions, I should say, live in the workflow folder, and there is a move to delete workflow action, which you will add into your existing workflows. So if we're working with the sample workflow, we can add it at any point within the workflow states, and it will check the existence of the delete requested field. If it's checked, it'll be marked for deletion and moved into the smart delete workflow, which is provided by the module. To add this new action to an existing workflow, simply locate the state that you wish to add it into, right-click, insert, insert from template, and navigate down to the new move item template here. And it's called move to delete workflow action. So we'll create a new instance of this. and it's utilizing the code base JLS Foundation workflow actions, move workflow actions, and that comes from the JLS Foundation workflow. Adding this action is all that's needed to include an item for deletion in workflow. To determine which items you would like to delete, you simply select or check the delete requested checkbox. So let's say, for example, we want to get rid of this Smart Delete demo homepage. It's currently in a workflow, and that workflow is the sample workflow, which has this move to delete workflow action applied to it, which we did a minute ago. If we are sure that we want to delete this, we can check this box, and it will move along the workflow until it hits that action. This action can be put at any state of the workflow, depending on what your needs are. But we recommend doing it in the approved option. That way that your governance can track this along the audit process if needed. And then to move through the process then, this would just move through the workflow as normal. I'm going to go ahead and approve this one. And since we're using the sample workflow, we only have 2 states that we need to approve for. So this next awaiting approval state, once we approve this, the processor is going to pick up that delete requested checkbox, and it's going to move it into the Smart Delete workflow. Apologize there for a minor hiccup. We had a rendering set that wasn't valid in this test page. I've corrected the rendering and we can continue. We'll approve this page. And once we approve it, it will move into the Smart Delete workflow. And you'll see when you mouse over here that it's awaiting approval. And if you look at the item itself in the workflow state, you'll see that it's in the Smart Delete awaiting approval state. The Smart Delete workflow is made up of 3 states. The initial state is awaiting approval, which is where you decide if you want to approve the deletion or reject the deletion, and another state which is approved, and the approved fires a delete action. The delete action comes out of the JLS Foundation workflow actions delete action. And what this action is going to do is it's going to serialize this item and any children that the item has into this Sitecore data serialization folder. Once the data has been serialized, it is then deleted from the content tree. So we're going to go ahead and move this through the deletion workflow. And it has been serialized and it is no longer in the content tree. And to verify, we can bring up the serialization folder. And you'll see that the item that you just pushed through the workflow exists there. And this is done in the event that it needs to be restored. It can just be reserialized through the standard Sitecore deserialization process. And that's the basic functionality of the Smart Delete module. And it was built on the Sitecore 8.2 Update 2 solution, and has been tested with 8.2 and 8.1, and should support any version of 8 Sitecore. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.